Hello. I wanted to talk about some theories I have about OPS, personality, evolution, and what are designated as mental disorders. Um, I just wanted to get it off my chest. So a few things. There are kind of coming out to you guys and talking to you guys a little bit more. I kind of realized like my assumptions might be off. It's very important for us to do. But I want to point out some kind of abstract connections I'm kind of pulling out of the air. The problem with modern day psychology and diagnosing people is the psychologists are only looking at the leaves. They're never looking at the roots because psychology decided a long time ago we don't know how to classify humans. They hit a wall and psychology went down the medicalizing track. Now, I don't mean to demedicalize any disorders. I don't want to do that. I have no desire to do that exactly, per se. But I would like to redefine our understanding. And so, for some things like, let's say, personality disorders, let's say maybe we find out something like borderline clumps somewhere. Maybe it has something to do with masculines, maybe it doesn't. Who knows? We can't know yet until we analyze the data. I think that might be very likely that personality disorders could clump in certain types. Um, but what we have to understand about the diagnosis of type of personality disorders is that they are vague, broad categories that can be widened to enrich people. So what do I mean by that? I mean, let's say you see it these days with ADD. You see I've been diagnosed with ADD in my time, and I was diagnosed with underactive ADD, so it was like not hyperactive. And my mom said she looked at her journals of me as a kid and she was like, "He's hyper focusing on Legos again. He's hyper focusing on this. He's hyper focusing on that." Now, what I want to say though is that there's an let's say the doctors are in a relationship with the manufacturers, in relationship with the drug companies, and there is an advantage to expanding the category of a mental illness to get you on the dole, to get you on the drugs. And so these categories, while people are trying to help, they are trying to help, but when you look at the larger system, you'll see that there are really some perverse incentives in this case. So, getting every child on methylphenidate, meth. That's what ADD medicine is. It's a form of meth. Um, be careful about that. It's a slippery slope. And so, what I want to say is, when we're looking at, if we're going to study OPS and mental disorders, we do need to look at the refined, most extreme cases and not look at kind of the people outside of that, because there might be a misclumping, is what I'm saying. So, if I have a theory about autism, but we really do have to look at the extreme cases of autism. We have to look at severe autism with its downsides and separate that from personality correlations. Um, we might find that autism still clusters in the sleepy side, but I have a theory that actually contradicts that through some of the theories I understand. Basically, and the most essential thing is that um, Sacha Baron Cohen, his brother has studied a lot of autism. I don't know why. Probably because some experience, maybe he has it. But what he found out is you can predict people if someone has severe autism by using a algorithm on their face to find out how masculine it is. And the more masculine the face, the more likely you are to have autism. What I connect this to is let's talk about one of the basic things that you kind of hear about with autism is that the example given is, let's say you're in a kitchen with your kid who has autism, high functioning or severe. You move a chair in that room, they freak out because they don't see chair move. They see new environment. Something has changed in the environment and it's new. And where do I think this comes from? My hypothesis, which I think should be investigated, is that this comes from two masculine observers, possibly. We can't really measure if it's on a spectrum, um, but we can measure if the thing is what I'm trying to parse out is what is the value of having masculine and feminine? Everyone goes, oh, the masculine's so powerful. But there might be an advantage to having two masculines on a coin. It's not impossible. And because the reason I connect this is because when we look at the high functioning people with autism, who somehow break out or find a way, they often have all-star memories for weird stuff. I don't know. That's why I'm saying we should investigate it. Another thing I should think we should investigate is psychopathy not just being DI, but actually the advantage of having demons. Um, my hypothesis is that demons and voids, our animal voids, are pro-social. They they force you to get along with people, even though you're gonna kick and scream and don't make me do that. It makes the tribe. It's the thing that creates necessity. If a community does not have a necessity to exist, it falls apart. And so evolutionary, I think our demon states and our animal voids are not just to get us to focus on one thing, but it's also pro-social. So my hypothesis is psychopaths, one of the most defining features of psychopaths, not sociopaths. Sociopaths can be caused by the environment, whatever. But psychopaths might be a mutation to turn off the demon state because a defining characteristic of psychopaths is a lack of fear and a lack of pain. Um, they just don't feel as much pain as the rest of us. And you'll hear often psychopaths kind of say this, where they're like, I feel like I'm the more evolved person. The danger of having the demon state turned off might be a genocidal urge, as in, like, it's like becoming the adult or having the growth mindset, maybe, without having the empathy of I had to break. It's the I have the break that gives me the empathy to lead, to actually do things correctly. There might be something else with demon states turned off. It might give preference to the DI because the DI might the consume would be the most primordial function. So when you take those limiters off, consume is going to be turned way up, hypothesis wise. Everything else, just consume it has to be the first thing, just because of the necessities of life. Um, but yeah, that is my basic hypotheses. I want to investigate them more. If anyone has anything to say contradicting these theories, tell me. If anything has anything to say going along with these theories, please tell me. Um, yeah, I really want to engage. I really want to build on these ideas. Um, I'm going to be honest, I'm not very good at crunching the data. I don't want to. But I'm seeing, like, in the evolutionary scale, the idea we are evolved to die by 30. Do our saviors die by 30? The advantage of the alpha, the adult, doing my demon state is too advantageous to say that this is breaking evolution. I would say no, it is a natural part of evolution, but not everyone can do it. It's just too hard. But yeah,